All right, today we're jumping into something really interesting, the Vilevine's Fable. It's this short, but man, is it a powerful story from our source material. It's all about this perfect, beautiful land, and this one little thing that comes along and threatens to just unravel everything. So the story kicks off by painting this picture of a world that is just idyllic. I mean, the very first line pulls you right in. Look at this beautiful land. You can almost see it, right? It sets this perfect scene of a thriving ecosystem, totally at peace with itself. And this isn't some vague, abstract idea of paradise. Nope. It's a living, breathing place. The source material tells us about a whole community of animals. You've got rabbits, squirrels, deer, even leopards, all just living together. The whole vibe is described as peaceful and tranquil. Just perfect. But you know how these stories go. Into this perfect little world, a new character shows up. And this character has just one single disruptive thought that is going to change everything. I want this to be mine. So let's meet our new character, the Vilevine. And what's really fascinating is how it's described. It's this slender stalk with lovely flowers, and it seems totally helpless. But that delicate look, it's just a mask. Underneath, its nature is purely extractive. Its whole purpose is to suck the sap, literally the life force, out of everything it touches. So you're probably wondering, how does this one tiny, helpless plant manage to take over an entire ecosystem? Well, the method, it's as simple as it is brutal. The fable lays it out in this relentless four-step process. Step 1, it sucks the sap and just grows. That leads right to step 2. All the other plants die, and the soil itself becomes totally barren. And of course, with no food or shelter, the animals have to leave. The final result? A complete and total takeover. The whole place is filled with nothing but the Vilevine. It's just this process of elimination, all to fuel its own growth. Okay, and here's a really interesting twist. This total domination actually creates this illusion of beauty. The story says that from a distance, it looked lovely, like a whole field of beautiful flowers blooming, almost like it's celebrating its own victory. That's such a powerful image, right? How destruction can sometimes look like success on the surface. But what's really going on? What does that so-called victory actually look like when you get up close, right there on the ground? What's the reality underneath all those pretty flowers? Well, the reality is stark. That incredible, diverse ecosystem we saw at the beginning, it's completely gone. All that's left is a monoculture of the victor, just the Vilevine, nothing else. And here's the kicker, the really crucial point. This victory is totally unsustainable. Because with nothing else left to consume, the Vilevine's own nature forces it to turn on itself. It starts feeding on its own stalks until it's completely eliminated. The conqueror is literally consumed by its own conquest. So this just brilliantly illustrates the full circle of the story, doesn't it? You start with a thriving world, then you have the conquest, then the inevitable ruin of the conqueror itself. And then, after some time passes, there's a rebirth. The soil gets fertile again, and a whole new ecosystem comes back. It seems like nature, in the end, finds a way to heal. And this brings us to the absolute heart of the fable. Nature itself, kind of personified, asks the Vilevine this simple but incredibly profound question. It points out just how pointless its whole existence is. And the Vilevine's answer, wow, it's a chilling confession. It basically admits to having this unstoppable urge to dominate and take everything. And it's all driven by this incredible short-sightedness. It says, I do not think of the future because the temptation of the present is just too much. Okay, so this is the point where the fable stops being just a story about a plant. This is where it gets real. The source materials straight up asks us to connect this story to our own world. Yeah, this story isn't just a story. It's meant to be a mirror. The source material prompts us directly to link the Vilevine's conquest to things in our world, specifically to wars, conflicts, and human greed and the impact they have on our planet. And this analogy here makes it crystal clear. The Vilevine, that represents the insatiable part of human nature, right? The greed, the drive for conflict. The sap it's sucking up, well, that's a pretty clear metaphor for Earth's finite resources. The beautiful ecosystem is our planet, and that final self-destruction, That points to the ultimate consequence of this kind of unchecked consumption.
So all of this circles the fable's main question right back around to us. It turns the whole story into a direct, personal challenge.
And so the story ends, leaving us with the exact same question nature asked the Vilevine. It's not about a fictional plant anymore, is it? The question is for us. Why do you do this? Ultimately, you perish too. And yeah, that's a pretty powerful thought to leave you with.